Hey Scorpio, welcome to October and a reading for you guys. Scorpio sun, moon, rising. If you know a Scorpio, if you're dating a Scorpio, if you just like Scorpio tarot readings, welcome. Working with some new decks this month, so it's really fun to get to know them as I've been doing a few of these readings. These are meant to give you divine inspiration, support, guidance, a little view of what's coming up or what you can anticipate, and take if you like it, change if you don't for the month. So we'll do a few oracle cards and then get into some tarot. All right, Scorpio, for the month of October, Imrama. Okay, I definitely have not seen this card before. Where are you being called to journey to? Well, I was about to say a bad word. I'm trying to swear less. I definitely have a pirate's mouth. Scorpio, this is one of the lighter cards of the deck. This is a gorgeous deck, oracle deck. It's called Work Your Light Oracle cards. But some of them, it uses contrast a lot. And this is one of the brighter, more beautiful, more serene colorscapes that this deck has picked up just immediately throughout the entire card. So I'm really getting this sense that October could be a really magical, dreamy month for you. If you're not already feeling that way, maybe you will be, maybe you'll be inspired, maybe the dreamland will be exceptionally potent for you. Visions, feelings of like really listen to the pulls of spirit, of nudges from your intuition, and specifically of things that make you feel good. Like, where are you being pulled on a next adventure? Where are you being pulled to try something new or take a new class? Where are you being called to journey to? I'll read from the book, but this is like whole new worlds, whole new adventures, and really being led by spirit. Look at all of this water that's here, a direct metaphor to our subconscious, our intuition. Let's see, Imrama. Yeah, this is definitely a card I haven't seen before, which is just so fun to check this deck out. 93, 98 here. All right. The Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul, a voyage in which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you are either being called on a soul journey or are already on one. It could be to a physical ancient place or metaphoric. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. You are being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is a journey to the world's sacred sites, or called to cross the country, climb a mountain, lie on the desert floor, or drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage is impossible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place. Or perhaps you're being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances, your soul is ready to journey deep. And it just hit me too, Scorpio, that October is likely your birth month, at least for a large many of you. Happy, happy birthday. So that could somehow tie into a birthday trip, or, numerologically, you're going to be starting a whole new journey, a whole new trip around the sun, a whole new chapter of life. So where are you being called to go? I'll be curious to see how that relates to the rest of your reading. All right, this is like a really fun mushroom deck, totally different vibe. Let's see what you guys get here. Tree. Stable, slow, and partnership. It's funny because it's a deck of mushrooms. It's called the Mushroom Oracle. It's really fascinating. It's been a really fun antithesis to some of the other cards, which, can be sort of like ethereal. And let me put this down for a second and just see what this is calling you to tell you. But let's see here. The tree. Over a timeline of centuries, the tree supports and is supported by the mycelium threading its roots. Who are your symbionts? Oh, okay. So it's just interesting, Scorpio, that while this is a mushroom deck, you're getting one of the supporter cards. So the majority of this deck is about different mushroom types and how they sort of relate to each other in the world. And but this one is sort of like, how are you being supported by other people in your community? Lots of nakedness here in this card, which is not always the case for these cards. So there's lots of community and a lot of vulnerability. This might take really opening yourself up this month to making jokes in my own head about being naked and opening yourself up. Anyway, opening yourself up to meeting new connections, being really vulnerable about what you want out of connections. Like, how are you being supported? How are you supporting others? Those can be really vulnerable conversations, like with people in your life currently, right? Like, this could be with a partner, a lover, a family member. You know, it can be some of the most vulnerable moments we have to really sit down and say, hey, I feel like I'm supporting this family. I feel like I'm supporting this partnership. I feel like I'm showing up in these certain ways, and I don't feel like I'm being supported in ways that are meaningful for me. Would you be willing to make me dinner every night, or have a conversation with me about how we feel every month, or whatever it is to you? And I feel like with the more vulnerability you have with the more people in your life around you, Scorpio, specifically talking about what you deeply desire, want, need, the more fruits of your labor you'll see, or the more fruits you'll find. Okay, last oracle card here, and then I really love to see how they sort of tie in with the tarot over your reading. This is a crystal deck here. Oh, find your way home. Okay, I just did the Pisces reading last, and this is what they got as well. So if you have any Pisces placements, this is also a very, very strong message for you. This was such a message of support for them, and it's coming through a little bit more exciting for you. So this is certainly a message of like nesting. I just love this image and this feeling of being exceptionally at home, and also traveling far and wide and calling the following the call of adventure for you, Scorpio. So it's really like coming into your true desires, feeling exceptionally supported, will really take you to new and exciting places this month. But know that you're supported. If there's any way that you feel shaky, you know, kind of like going out on a limb with your vulnerability, or travels, or trying new things, know that like you are exceptionally supported this month. I'll go ahead and read turquoise for you because it's very sweet message here. You can always find your way home, turquoise assures, and she should know she has traveled by caravan across the Silk Road and escorted royalty on the byways between life and death. Turquoise is a wayfinder and companion for when the path is unknown or feels treacherous, whether in real time or in the shadowed lands of journeys and dreams. She offers protection to the parts of your psyche that are lost, sacred, or hidden away. And by sacred, I mean scared. There is a tension to being human, to having a yin and a yang aspect, which occasionally conflict, leaving you simultaneously wanting to stretch your wings and never leave the nest. Turquoise gets it. Go and grow, she whispers. I will help you find your way home. It's such a beautiful and sweet message and feeling to feel this for you, Scorpio. I'm going to expand this a little bit, see if we can do that so you can see more of the cards. And really like this safe and encouraging nest and resting place that Spirit really encourages you to know is held for you, while you're also being called to journey and find new ground, find new places, seek new resources. It's really like following the nudges. That's what I'm feeling from that card. It's not like all of a sudden, you know, work really hard and effort to find a whole new path through life, Scorpio. It's like the coming home, find your way home is feels like a real crux to that message. By landing in your heart, by coming back to what's natural to you, by aligning more with what is truly your soul's purpose and your want in life and all of that, will you find more adventure outside of yourself. All right, let's get into some tarot for you guys. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Again, I'm learning a lot of the cards here with you guys. It's the Animal Tarot by Orion. So central reading for you guys, Scorpio, is the Four of Cups in reverse. So this is interesting. This is going to be coming out of apathy, really reversing a feeling of feeling stuck or maybe stagnant. I mean, on the very extreme side of this feeling could be depression. There's a feeling here of coming out of that this month, like being reinvigorated, reignited about life. What's crossing you? The Nine of Swords. You are facing down and or dispelling some of your deepest fears. I love seeing the Nine of Swords because it's such a confirmation that I might be in a lot of fear, and that the fear is just that. It's just fear. Very much easier said and expressed than understood sometimes by our body, right? Anxiety, fear, the things that keep us up in the middle of the night. But when we realize we're in control of our thoughts and our thoughts create the anxiety, we can absolutely calm ourselves. So there could be a way that you are addressing your fear, facing your fear down to really come out of any stagnation, emotional stagnation, feeling like stuck or sad or melancholic. Let's get into the rest of the reading and see where you're going with this, Scorpio. What are you definitely facing this month? What are you focused on bringing into your life? The World in reverse. Okay, I love this. The World is such a beautiful card. It is the very last of the major arcana cards, and as such, it's a culmination of every part of the Fool's journey that you have traveled. There's a really big graduation here for you, Scorpio. The fact that it's in reverse just means there's something else that you need to tie up, attend to, make sure you're not leaving behind before you move forward. Sometimes when we're ready to move forward or complete something or step into the next part of our journey, we self-sabotage. And self-sabotage can often be the parts of ourselves that are little or small or scared inside of us just saying like, hey, wait, like I need to be assured too. Like, don't leave me behind. I'm freaking out in here. I don't feel safe going out and about. And so in like a metaphorical or sort of like emotional work way, this can look like needing to tend to some of the parts of you that maybe aren't fully on board moving forward or completing this journey and looking at the graduation and what's ahead and what's next and the real celebration and how far you've come. There are whole new worlds that you are excited and ready to see, Scorpio, but you need a little help or you need to have some time and reflection to remember to pick up, tend to close the loop on anything that is left undone before really fully moving forward into your next chapter. And congratulations, by the way. I should say congratulations every time we pull the World card. It's just such a huge moment. The World is a really huge moment in card, and I just don't want to downplay what a beautiful, beautiful sentiment this is and how hard we've worked to get here. Like the World is the end of the entire Fool's journey. It's like the 21 major arcana cards. And for whatever reason, I'm really emphasizing that, Scorpio. So maybe you really have come through a really tough time over the year, over the month, over your life. And you're really facing down the last of whatever this is to move forward. You know, this makes a lot of sense now that you have to face down whatever fears there are here to get to the other side. This makes a lot of sense now. Perfect. King of Swords is exactly what we've been talking about. This is like really leaning into right thinking. The King of Swords is exceptionally logical. He sees the full plan. He's above the clouds. He's above any emotional turmoil. He really has like an exceptionally clear mind and is able to speak, communicate, see, plan, build from a very, very clear place. So this is where you are encouraged to go and to lean into right mind, right thinking, correcting old belief patterns that might be holding you back, that you don't want to carry with you to a next chapter. And if you can't quite get there alone, or if you feel like this might be a suggestion to like go talk to a therapist or talk to your best friend or journal or do something where you are actually relating to this character. This court cards oftentimes represent people outside of us in life, your big brother, your dad, your mom, your sister, whoever it might be. This is a real encouragement that like you kind of know who this person is, and it might be really good to seek their counsel. You know who this person is because in this position, you're very focused on what you're doing this month, and this is like what you know. Conversely, we'll see what you don't know. This is kind of what's in your subconscious and what you might be building the rest of the month off of. Four of Swords in reverse, really excited to come out of a period of quiet or rest or a time that you had to really take off of work or thinking or manifesting. The Four of Swords is a card about really resting, coming off the battlefield, just tired. We need a break. And when it's in reverse, we're either kind of stagnant and not moving forward, like getting up out of bed and doing our thing, or we are just so ready for the next situation. Okay, so Eight of Wands in reverse here. There's some kind of there's something you need to address here, Scorpio, before you move forward. And I really think it's relating to something about being vulnerable here and expressing what you need to those around you, first and foremost to yourself. You cannot ask for what you need if you don't know what it is. So there's a lot of call to self-reflection here, because you deeply need to understand what it is that is bothering you, that you don't like, that you need empathy for, that you want some extra support around, that whatever it is. You have to know that before you can communicate it, because here in the foundation, we have the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Four of Swords in reverse. There's this hiccup around timing. There's this hiccup around action. There's this hiccup around like wanting to do things, but not quite sure when, not knowing like how much rest to get, or if you're getting too much rest, not able to rest, resting too much, and just like this delayed start. It's like the Eight of Wands is like, we're ready to go. All the cars are lined up to start the race. Like all we need is the flag and we're off. When the Eight of Wands is in reverse, it's like they're all still lined up. It's just, there's this hiccup, there's this hitch, there's this need to kind of tend to something before you move forward. There's a delay. And we're talking about delays here as well. So that is not a bad thing, Scorpio. I feel like Spirit is really wanting to bring you to this place of consciousness around that so that you can tend to it before you are absolutely being called to more journeys. Oh, and you know what? This is actually maybe exactly what you need to do in order to move forward. So perhaps there is a real need to like look back at history, personal history, family history. It was talking about pilgrimages. Maybe there's a way that you need to really honor a lineage or understand how it used to be done by your family to choose a different way forward. Something like that, right? You're coming home in order to really move forward. That message is very clear. Coming into an alignment in order to really get the momentum you need to launch into your next chapter, Scorpio. What happened here in the recent past that we're talking about? Okay, Page of Cups. I also have not seen this card before. So that's really beautiful. I love this use of color. Oh, and now that I'm looking at it more closely, that is actually a whole school of fish. So I was just like interesting because this is an animal deck and each one of these is represented by an animal that I wasn't seeing at first. So something here in the past happened. It was a very sweet heart opening here. So feelings of love, feelings of friendship, feelings of romance, maybe a new kiddo. Page of Cups represents kids, or the pages of all of the suits represent kiddos. But there could be a lot like needing to, maybe there was a feeling of overwhelm or like emotional confusion. This card is a little confusing. There's a lot going on here and there's just like a big S shape on here or a backward S, or maybe it's like, you know, seaweed, but when you look closer, it's actually full of like teeming life and all of these little animals with like their own brains and their own desires and their own dreams. So something was like feeling very nebulous in the past, right? Like this opening, this feeling of love or relationship or like a new friendship or connecting with something new in a relationship level, but that wasn't clearly defined, which tracks for the Page of Cups. The pages are new, they're exciting, they're sweet, they're innocent, they haven't felt fear yet, but they're not defined, they're not mature. And maybe you were picking something of this up. Maybe you felt lost in a sea of other students at school. The Hierophant talks about very traditional models of education, or giving over your sense that like needing to learn something from a traditional school of thought, like a church or a school or a hospital, right? There's something about what happened in the past here. It's very contrasting energy. So you could have felt like a small fish in a big pond in a situation here. You could have felt like potentially an opening for love or a new relationship in one of those areas of life, right? Like school, hospital, hopefully not a hospital, you know, for whatever reason. Here's hoping you have excellent health, you know, whatever it is. Maybe, I don't think that you were, I was going to say like maybe you were kind of teaching in this role, like maybe you're showing up here as the Hierophant, but that's not the feeling that's coming through. There's something here in the recent past where you experienced fruitfully, like this doesn't seem like a bad experience, some kind of like new opening for love, relationship, heart, excitement, newness, project within the context of like a teacher. Somehow a teacher was involved. That's not a very clear message for me, but it doesn't need to be. So I'm just translating the cards. So hopefully that lands for you. Where's it taking you? Like what's coming into the future? Oh, gorgeous. Okay. I also have not seen this card before. Really beautiful. Queen of Wands, which I would never have thought I would see depicted by like a hamster, a mouse. Look how sweet that thing is. And the full moon, very full moon. So I'm getting like very pregnant vibes here with Queen of Wands, which is really interesting. And like the orchid, blooming orchid there. Orchids are like very tricky to keep alive, to bloom and then also continue to keep alive and like healthy. They're very particular. They're very like diva-esque. So this is a really fascinating card. Moving into the future, you're going from this page energy, this newness, to this Queen of Wands, which is like absolute confidence. I love the Queen of Wands. She is absolutely one of my favorite characters in the tarot. She represents confidence. She represents sexuality. She represents she's like the life of the party. She is absolutely like her own woman, but it doesn't mean she's independent and like icing people out. She just knows herself so well. She is so confident. She is emanating vitality and creativity. She can be harsh though. Like the Queen of Wands definitely has a temper. She's fiery. Let's see what else is going on here. So this could absolutely be you embodying something about your confidence from a situation that you went through from the past here, right? You could have really clarified something that you wanted or didn't want in a relationship in order to like really know exactly what you want and come out the other side here in the future. Okay, I just have like piles of cards that are flying out, so I feel like there's a lot more to say to a lot more, like there could be lots of different directions that this is wanting to be interpreted as or talk about, but for the sake of my sanity. Okay, interesting, Four of Cups, because this is also your central energy here as well. So, okay, Queen of Cups coming into the future here as a way to remedy and or challenge this feeling of apathy or too much or depression or malaise or ways that you just feel like empty in relationship. Well, it's not empty because all the cups are full in the Four of Cups. It's this feeling of like too much, like I don't know what to do with this. I'm feeling like stuck or too full and I just don't want any more. And specifically when it comes to relationship and human connection. So the Queen of Wands here in the future is antidote. It's an antidote to that. And I love seeing it for you here because what it means is you absolutely, as a theme for this month, are facing down that feeling, are coming out of that feeling as a whole by facing your fears, by flipping your fears around, by having your fears really be the catalyst for what makes you stronger in order to face them and move through whatever is blocking you here from moving on. I'm so fascinated for what this story is, Scorpio. I don't have like a personal sense of what it is for you guys. Sometimes I really do. That comes through in the cards, and that's okay. Like I don't need to know. I hope this is just helpful for you wherever you are in your month and your journey. Okay, how are you feeling about all of this, Scorpio? Okay, the Hanged One. The Hanged One has come up, I think, in like the majority of readings. So if you're looking at your other videos, your moon, your rising, your sun, and you're bumping into the Hanged Man, know that there's this real, flavor, season, need to understand when to move and when to not move forward, when to act and when to rest. And you're getting a lot of that message here, right? Eight of Wands, Four of Swords, in reverse, the World in reverse here. So there's a lot. This is really telling me that like you really want to move forward. You're actually really ready. You might feel very frustrated that things haven't like moved forward in any area of your life, relationship, love, work, profession, personal. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe you're just kind of like, I want something more. I get the sense that there's something more and I just don't know where or how to move forward, what to do, who to talk to. And this is telling me you're going to come out, you're really ready to come out of that energy. You're looking at this process and you're like, girl, I am so ready to go. Like, yeah, let me at that pilgrimage, but I don't have the funds yet, or I don't know how to take time away from my kids, or I can't figure it out with my work schedule. Like there's some kind of hiccup here that you have to complete before like moving on to your next chapter, and you're gonna figure it out because you are. The Hanged One here in reverse just says, I am ready. I'm just quite not sure exactly what to do here, but I actually do, because the Eight of Swords in reverse tells me you are absolutely working on the antidote to unsticking yourself from whatever is going on. The Eight of Swords just says we are caught up in our own minds, our own belief systems that are just keeping us from moving forward, and you're addressing them. That's what this is talking about. Scorpio, of course you are, because you're like your own therapist. Scorpio as an energy, as an archetype, is absolutely like the excited therapist, the dive deeper into psychology and what's going on at the very bottom of things in order to like, make things better and bring things to the light, transform. And you're like, yeah, I'm ready to move forward, and I am absolutely working on transforming and getting rid of any belief that doesn't work for me so that all of this can work itself out. So basically you're crushing it, Scorpio. Keep going doing whatever you're doing, because it's going well. What is in your exterior environment this month, Scorpio? People, places, things that might be helping you, hindering you, keeping you back. The devil. Okay, also we are seeing the devil just in so many readings. The devil reversed. So in your environment, people, places, things you might be bumping into this month, you might really be getting to see a reversal of anything that's been keeping you back. This is really cool, actually, because the messages, like, I didn't even think about this, but the messages are just so like on point and in line and like encouraging each other. If there have been ways that you've been like stuck in a job or stuck in like a situation or a relationship or something that's like run its course, but you were in it for the security, you were in it for the money, you were in it for whatever it was, that kind of like golden handcuffs. There was some benefit that you were in that was like material, but ultimately was sort of like not feeding your soul or not feeding, your soul's growth. You're going to have people, places, and things this month, Scorpio, that really show you how to come out of that pattern and how to come out of that habit. So it's kind of like the world and the environment and the universe is conspiring to help you out of this pattern of stuck. If you've been going back to an ex or something, finally that ex is going to say, no, I'm done, right? Or if you continue to go back to a job that you don't like, and these are all kind of extreme examples, right? Like the job might finally say, hey, like we ran out of money for that contract and you can't come back. And that allows you to go on a pilgrimage or do something else, find another way that's more sustainable for you to make a financial living. Those are just extreme examples, but it could be anything in between, larger or smaller. And you are going to be forced to really think about your own way through with that. So people, places, and things potentially not coming through for you in the best way possible, really like shutting down these avenues where you might have been tied to things. The devil is also addiction. So it's like, maybe you are engaging or bumping into situations that really discourage you from continuing any addiction. Like maybe you're invited on a trip and there's no alcohol at all on the trip for a week, right? And that really encourages you to stop drinking if that's what you've been doing. Or similarly for smoking or overeating or whatever it is. And really starting to create your own identity, create your own value system, create your own thoughts and beliefs that you want to sub in your mind and in your body and in your person to really start creating like more healthy habits. The Ace of Swords in reverse just says, we're working hard here. You have to do your own effort to source your own inspiration. It might not necessarily come very easily from the universe. Okay, biggest hopes and fears here for you this month, the Three of Cups. Okay, you're afraid that like somehow the way that you're going to move on is going to leave everyone you love behind, or you're never going to have any friends again. Or Scorpio, you're afraid that like, you won't be able to talk to that best friend, or you're going to be alone for the rest of your life is the really big fear here. Let's get a card here. We're looking at the Three of Cups in reverse that just says there's such a sadness around like no celebration, and like you might not be able to celebrate life or feel like you can really enjoy with other people. Okay, and this is just saying like you're afraid that you're not going to get back what you've put in. You've clearly done a lot of work here, Scorpio, towards whatever this is. Justice in reverse with the Three of Cups in reverse in that position says you're really afraid that it's not all going to come together in a way that feels really good to you and in a way that you can celebrate and maybe even like showcase. Like you're afraid you might not get the recognition. I want to encourage you to lean into the flip side, because this is your biggest wish this month. And in fact, I'll leave these facing up for you, Scorpio. Your biggest wish is that justice will be served, that the work you've put in, you will get out, that you will be recognized for the work that you've done, that you will be able to celebrate and be celebrated in public with your friends around all of your accomplishments. I'm going to leave this face up because this is a choice. These are your fears. This is your biggest fear and your biggest wish this month is to like really be celebrated, celebrate with other people, enjoy life, just have a good time, come back to feeling really good, and that all of the hard work you've put into something is going to be recognized and feel good. So just believe that that's the case. Lean into the wish there versus the fear that that's not going to happen, and it's yours. So that's my gift to you, Scorpio. I'm just gonna make that happen for you. We're just gonna leave that face up, or right side up. So what is the culmination of your month here, Scorpio? Boom. I just saw this card for the first time last reading, and it is like some of these just take me to a entirely new world. Like they're just portals for a really beautiful, immediate cellular level transmission. Strength is here coming for you. This month is going to strengthen you. You are going to show up this month with strength. And when we show up with strength through adversity, we come out on the other side with so many benefits from spirit. And you're doing it. There's also such a message here of being like deeply connected. Like all of these messages you're getting from spirit, from an exceptional diamond shaped and clear diamond level clarity. You're going to hear messages, you're going to feel support, and you're also emanating that. That was very clear from the last reading. I did, where we saw the strength card, that there is so much confidence and expertise that you have gained, right? Like elk or deer with these kinds of horns, like each one of these is grown per year. So when you see, it's called a rack. When you see a rack this huge, it is years worth of experience, years worth of lived experience. So you are showing up for yourself and therefore the world in a way that just shares that with the world and creates whole new paths for you to move forward. What this is showing me is that you have some really interesting challenges to work through in a month where you are up leveling, Scorpio. So there's a big up leveling happening, and Spirit is encouraging you to be exceptionally thorough in how you tie up loose ends, in how you move forward to the next chapter, feeling very, very caught up with everything. Like T's crossed, I's dotted, send it to the editor twice, the editor of your own person and body, so that you can like move forward into whole new realms and worlds through finding your way home, through your heart and your aligned soul's purpose and mission. So I so hope that this was helpful for you, Scorpio. We'll see you on the next one.